everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes every. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love, something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love, something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, Rooted Men. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and I am jumping on Rumble and Twitter just to make sure that we are up and going, and it looks like we are. So I'm coming back to all of you. Also on YouTube, for those of you who are on YouTube subscribed, Aaron started putting out some shorts on our YouTube page, and as well as the Twitter page, I think. But a lot of you guys are on YouTube, so check it out. He has a software that goes back to my messages and cuts out sections that are characterized as powerful or persuasive. And any rate, it's a beginning of trying to work on the algorithms of social media and get the word of the gospel out to as many as possible. But we'll talk about that sometime more. Um, Kimberly and I are getting ready to go to Fernley to Greendale. We're going to stop and see Vivian. As some of you may know, Vivian got into a car accident yesterday. So let me tell you something kind of interesting. Um, Certainly tragic. She's got some broken bones, broken hip, some punctured lungs, cracked ribs. She, Aaron and I drove by the accident scene and we prayed for whoever it was in that car. Elder Glenn was with somebody going by the same scene and prayed for that individual. So, minimally, three firmly rooted people saw that accident, prayed for that individual, and it ended up being one of our own. So, what a powerful thing! And just continue to lift Vivian up in prayer. We're going to stop and see her on the way down to Greendale. Ken Gooch, good morning, fellow brothers in arms. Chuck B, good morning, firmly rooted men. Blessings to you all. Chris Connolly, good morning. But that's not all we have on YouTube. I see that there are more there, which is always good. That means there's more watching, which is awesome. And we've got a couple on Twitter, and we've got a couple few on Rumble. All right, let's get to it. Proverbs chapter 26, and I'm doing verses 1 through 7. Proverbs 26, verses 1 through 7. Like snow in summer or rain at the harvest, honor is not fitting for a fool. Nobody likes snow in the middle of May, and nobody loves rain when it's time to be harvesting the crop. Nobody likes when society honors a fool because they're just going along with the social pressures. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest. You know, we probably could add hummingbird, right? These birds that are just wickedly fast and they bounce from spot to spot, spot to spot. Not a whole lot of pattern to their life. They just don't ever seem to land. They're always moving, moving, moving. What he's saying is an undeserved curse won't land. Someone might speak it, but God is the protector of love and truth, and he will be by our side. He will be our warrior. A whip to control a horse, a bridle to control a horse or a donkey, and a rod for the backs of fools. The rod. The idea that punishment is a deterrent. One of the things that was just amazingly silly and amazingly made no sense as I grew up as an adult is to listen to adults say that there is no deterrent to the death penalty, that there's no deterrent. I got to tell you, all of the psychological evidence and sociological evidence calls that all a lie. But what we did was we started reducing punishment, and the more you reduce punishment for crimes, the more crimes take place. Right now, in some states, if you steal less than $900, just walk out of the store with it because nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to get charged. So people walk right out of the door with televisions and microwaves, and what can you do about it? Because it's illegal, but they're not going to charge you. How do you know it's a deterrent? Look at some of the places in the world where if you steal, you get your hand cut off. there's not a whole lot of theft in those countries. Cheat or steal and you might get stoned. I'm not saying that those are the things we ought to do. I'm just saying that there is indeed a deterrent to punishment. And so the rod for the backs of fools, that's what he's talking about. He's not talking about we should just go beat everybody that's a fool. What he's saying is fools are going to commit wrong acts. And the hope is that the rod to the back not only disciplines them, but it's a deterrent to others. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Gentlemen, this is critical, especially today in this hostile environment, this world that we're living in. We tend to be like the very people we disagree with. If you're ugly, I get the right to be ugly. If you call names, I get the right to call names. The only right we have, gentlemen, is to speak the truth in love. Truth is powerful enough. Don't answer a fool the same way he talks to you, or else you'll just become like him. Let's not use the kingdom of this world's tactics in trying to persuade someone to the truth. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. Confront the folly as if it's folly. Confront it like Jesus did, truthfully. Just truthfully. As I said before, truth is powerful in and of itself. It doesn't need me to scream, yell, cuss, swear, bang. It just needs me to speak. Verse 6, sending a message by the hand of a fool is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. It's like having an ambassador for the United States that really isn't acting as an ambassador of the United States, but he's actually acting as a spy for another nation. Maybe even the nation that he's ambassador to. How foolish. Verse 7, like the useless legs of one who is lame is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. He's not trying to make fun or belittle the lame. But what he's saying is, just like the lame can't use those legs that are attached to their body, the proverbs, the divine truths in the mouth of a fool are useless. They can say the words, they can spell the words, they just don't know its meaning. All right. That's what I have for you. Gentlemen, blessings on your day. Please pray for Vivian. Please pray for Kimberly's and my safe travel down to Greendale. Please be as active as you can this Sunday. There might be some help needed to set up or tear down and things that, Kimberly and I sometimes help with. Just be involved this Sunday. It's Reformation Sunday, big Sunday in the church here, going back hundreds and hundreds of years to the Reformation and all that took place in that Reformation. We're going to talk about that a little bit, I think, in the Bible study that I'm going to be shooting back to Oxford from Greendale. But blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.